Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. We're bringing the artillery replay contest section to a bit of a close. I'm going to be announcing the winner tomorrow. In the meantime, well, I didn't have that many artillery replays that were sent in. Most of them were really, really good. In fact, there have been some exceptionally good artillery replays that you've already seen. In particular, the guerrilla replay from the first roundup on Erlenberg, which was spectacular. And could, in any other roundup, would have been on the list of runners-up. But I'm not really doing that with the artillery. You're seeing some good games and some great games in every roundup. This one is Biohazard in his S51 Russian Tier 6 artillery. It's a standard battle on Serene Coast. And this was a mostly unremarkable battle, but there were a couple of moments in it that were nothing short of spectacular. This is one. Look at this. Full health T54. And that's why everybody hates artillery. I don't know where he hit that guy. I mean, the T54 has a very, very low-profile turret. And if you'll see artillery players tend to aim. They put the pickle of the aiming reticle just behind the tank that they're shooting at. Because the best place to hit a tank with an artillery shell from above is the engine deck behind the turret. More chance of penetrating and doing full damage with your high explosive. When you're shooting at a tank like a KV-4, for example, or a KV-5 that has a big turret, a lot of the time your shot hits the turret where the armour is the strongest. And you don't do full damage. And look at that, 623 damage on that guy as well. But a T-54, and a lot of the Russian mediums have this problem, some of the Russian heavies too, is because the turrets are so low and flat that artillery really, really can mess them up because the shots rarely bounce off the turret or hit the turret and get absorbed by the armour. And that looks like what happened. I didn't see an ammo rack icon. It looks like he just penetrated, missed the turret of the T-54, went straight into the engine deck, penetrated and did full damage. So that was the first holy shit moment. And it's a pretty standard game from there on in. But keep an eye on this Panther 2. And this Panther 2 has friends. Now, unlike in some of the other replays, you're watching this at normal speed, just so you can get an appreciation of how incredibly long it takes to aim with this thing. And there's his second kill. Good solid hit on that Tiger. And he's relocating after firing. But this thing moves so slowly. And look at the length of the reload. It takes forever. And you get to Tier 6. And it's not so much with vehicles like the GW Panther, which tends to, relatively speaking, compared to other Tier 6 artillery, aim and load reasonably quickly. But the S51 definitely doesn't. Now you can see he's got one armour-piercing round. At least I think it's one armour-piercing round. And the rest he's just using high explosives. And one thing you'll notice him doing here is he's using the right mouse button to pan his view around without actually moving his point of aim. Because he knows that there are tanks sitting up there. He just can't see them, nobody's spotting them. And he's thinking, should I go for the T29? Maybe I should go for the T29. And somebody gets a big old hit on him. But of course, turning his gun onto the T29, he didn't have the gun traverse, and then of course he had to move the hull, and then his aiming circle bloomed up again, and they had to go through the whole aiming cycle. So, and then of course he sees the T29 after he turns away, and oh come on! You can see he's aiming behind him, trying to get that shot, and of course it ends up going slightly too far, and he completely misses. So he's fired. He relocates to avoid counter battery fire, which is difficult to do in an S51 because if somebody's watching your spot, they tend to hit you because it moves so slowly. But remember that Panther and Panther 2 up here. T-43's trying to flank the Panther, and he's come on, reload. Oh, the Panther takes a big hit from the side there. There's that Panther 2, he's moving up. Now there are certain circumstances that are just every artillery player's dream shot, and that's when you get a bunch of tanks all clustered together on kind of low health. And you can just splash both of them. And there you go. 2 kills for the price of 1 shot. Fantastic. And that was the other whoa moment in this replay that I wanted to show you. And from here on in, it's pretty much... In fact, I'm not even sure he hits anything else from here on. The enemy team are completely outclassed. We're winning 9-2, for God's sake. And these guys just get rolled over by the rest of our heavies and tank destroyers. So that was Biohazard, with 2 holy shit moments in his S51 Russian Tier 6 artillery. Next up, we've got Maverick 92. You've seen him before in most of the other replay roundups. He's sent in some great games in all different kinds of machines. And here he is in his SU-26 Russian Tier 3 artillery. Now, the SU-26 is almost unique. The Batchat 155, the French Tier 8 artillery, has a turret. The GW Panther sort of has a turret. The SU-26 is the only other machine in the game that actually, well, the only other artillery in the game that actually has a turret, and it gives you lots and lots and lots of advantages. And for me, this is probably the most entertaining artillery to play in the game. And there are a number of reasons for that. The turret is probably the biggest reason. It just makes this thing so incredibly versatile. Now you can see him parking sideways on like that, and you can't do this in other artillery. A lot of the time, and you are watching this at double speed, by the way. In fact, I'm just going to slow it down for the moment, just so you can get an appreciation of how quickly this thing aims and fires. And this is Tier 3 artillery for you. Now, going back to what I was mentioning earlier, you see that he's parked sideways on, and he just turns the turret around. Now, it's important that you relocate when you fire in artillery, in case enemy artillery is watching for your tracer. And what you can do in the Batchat artillery, and in this thing, that's a good kill. Very useful kill. Took out one of their Tier 4 heavies. But yes, in other artillery, relocating after you've fired... Oh, there's his second kill. I'm going to need to keep track of this. Relocating after you've fired... Maverick, stop killing things. I'm trying to commentate. In other artillery is usually a case of people will just drive forwards a little or drive backwards a little, and a smart enemy artillery player who's watching for your tracer knows that you're going to do that. When you're in this thing, or the Batchat, you can park sideways on and effectively drive sideways, if you like. Your turret's pointing forwards, your tank's pointing sideways, and instead of just moving forwards and backwards, you can relocate by moving sideways. And people don't expect to see that. And there he is on 4 kills all of a sudden. Holy cow, somebody stop him. So that's one of the advantages that you have with the very, very few turreted artillery. It's his 5th kill. With the very few turreted artillery that's in the game. Now this Hetzer driver, this game was a heartbreaker for him. He played a really good game. He's on to 3 kills already. And Maverick has a few goes at getting him, but he just can't quite hit this guy. This guy ain't stupid. He knows artillery's going to be looking at him, and he's using all available arty cover. But just look. And here's the thing about Tier 3 artillery. They're all really, really fun to play. But the SU-26... Oh, and that was a hit. You saw the shot go in. You didn't see an explosion. That means he hit him. And surprisingly, didn't kill him. Nailed that Stuart. 6 kills. There's Top Gun, and there's that SU-26. You can see he's 38 health, so he was lucky to survive that. But with Tier 3 artillery, if you know what you're doing, you will run up scores like this in most games. I certainly did, and my SU-26 didn't even have 100% crew. In fact, I think the best crew skill I had was 86%, after playing several games on it. But it doesn't matter. Even without 100% crew, these little Tier 3 arties, they fire so fast, they aim so fast, and you're watching this at normal speed. This isn't speeded up or anything. You know, this is as fast as this thing actually operates. And there's his 7th kill. And the only things that really give you problems in Tier 3 arty are Tier 5 heavies. Because firing high explosive, the amount of damage that you inflict is mitigated. Oh, tree's falling. He knows somebody's over there. Yeah, firing high explosive, the amount of damage you're going to inflict is mitigated by the amount of armour that it hits. So the tier 5 heavies tend to give arty big problems, especially tier 3 artillery. I have wasted countless shots on Churchills and KV-1s, just hitting them, constantly hitting them and doing 12 damage. Now what you don't see, unless you have the Eagle Eye perk, is that yeah, you might be doing minimal amounts of physical damage to them. I was unlucky not to kill that guy. Surely he's AFK. But what you're not seeing is the crew kills and the module damage that you're inflicting. You're wrecking their turret rings, you're damaging their ammo racks, you're killing their radio operator and their driver. You don't see that unless you have the Eagle Eye perk that allows you to see the damage that you're actually inflicting in module and crew to the enemy vehicles. And there's only that. And look at this guy. 5 kills. And he's going to lose. What a heartbreaker. Maverick knows he's up here somewhere. You can see shots going in. And this guy ain't done yet. They're capping. But this Hetzer, he's not given up. You can see his shots. And there he goes. He's killed an M2. He's up to 6 kills. And he isn't done yet. There you go. He's killed the M37 artillery he's trying to cap. 7 kills. Oh, what a heartbreaker for this Hetzer driver. You've got to feel sorry for him. So Maverick knows where he's hiding, but he also knows he can't hit him from where he is, so he's moving to get a better angle. Line of sight blocked. Pulls back, sees that there's a rock in the way. Moves around. Gets himself a better firing solution. Oh, Hetzer's moved up. Watch this guy go. Goes for the T46. He's not giving up without a fight. Come on, Maverick, reload. And there you go, 9 kills. It's not difficult if you have even the slightest idea of what you're doing. It really is not difficult to get that kind of result in tier 3 artillery. In most of the games you get into. You're going to have problems in a tier 5 game. You're going to have a nightmare in a tier 6 game. But in tier 4, and even in the tier 5 games, you can absolutely clean up all the other tier 4s and 3s. One-shot killing most of them, because they don't have any armour. So, even fire an HE, you're going to penetrate and do full damage when you hit them most of the time. So the Su-26, for me, one of the most fun vehicles in the game to drive, ever. Just a tiny little compact package of Russian fun. A really, really good artillery. And in the hands of a competent driver, in most of the games you get into, like this, you can run up scores like that without much difficulty. So that was Maverick 92 in his Su-26. Next up, we've got the AMX-13F3, driven by FJT. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to call him Dave. So, Dave, in his French Tier 5 artillery. And this one was an amusing game, but it wasn't really much of an artillery game. So, you're going to see what I mean. It's a standard battle. It's a Tier 7 game on Westfield. And he starts off by setting himself up in your standard artillery position. There's a guerrilla over there as well, and that's pretty much it. There's a tiny little tier 2. I don't know what the hell. Who's he platooned with? Is that a failed platoon we're looking at here? Yeah, tier 2 artillery platoon with the tier 5 tank destroyer, and there's the worst possible game that tier 2 could get himself into, so he's going to be largely useless in this one, unfortunately. Now, I'm reasonably confident that Dave's machine, I don't know, it seems like it's not fully upgraded. He's got the big gun, but either he doesn't have 100% crew, or he doesn't have the top engine, because it seems really, really sluggish. And you can see the loading and aiming speed doesn't look what you'd expect. Now there's French artillery for you. Dickermax has 50mm of armour at the most, at the front. Only has 540 health and a direct hit. Just couldn't kill him. That's the trade-off that you have with French artillery. They have minimal splash damage. They have fast loading and fast aiming, but they don't do that much damage. And that's what makes me think that there's something going on here with Dave's machines. In some way, it's not fully upgraded, or the crew aren't fully trained, because I mean, the reload isn't that bad, but the aiming time seems really slow. Now look at the map. Yep, here it comes. There's a T50. Saw that one coming. Southeastern side of the map is almost completely open. There's a heavy moving down there. You've seen the gap in the defences. You're going to have to start defending yourselves, Artie. Looks like I don't know who hit him there. It might have been the gorilla. And Dave's just camping in this bush thinking, please don't see me, please don't see me, please don't see me. Nah, screw it. Go for it. But there's plenty of friends coming to help out, and T50s ram each other and both kill each other, so... Well, there you go. Oh, and that, I don't know if you saw that, he actually got shot at, and I don't know what it was, but it bounced. You see that mark at the back of the tank, just above the French icon? Right there. So he's moving, and he's getting himself into some cover. The score's a 7-7, but tactically, it's just not looking good. They've got control of the town, sort of, but they're still losing tanks up there. They just lost a T25/2. So the situation is anything but anything but secure. And now they're 2 tanks down. He's actually moving backwards at this point, so that he can shoot over the farmhouse in front of him. And there you go. Now he's got the shot at the T25. He fires, direct hit, 272 damage. That's French arty for you. But he's definitely given his position away, and I know that Hummel is looking for him. Okay, Tiger nails the T25, but they've just lost a Panzer IV as well. So there's still 2 tanks down. Now that knocked over tree doesn't actually provide any cover. Oh, T29. As of patch 8.2, trees that you knock over will provide cover, but at this stage of the game, this is a patch 8 replay. It might block your view, but it doesn't actually provide any cover whatsoever. If that makes any kind of sense. Whereas T29 doesn't appear to have seen them, and again, another direct hit on the T29. Minimal amount of damage. French artillery for you, I'm afraid. Now, has he given his position away with that? Don't see any incoming fire. And again, he's backing up, backing up, backing up, backing up, backing up. There we go. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Aim, aim, aim. And fire. And it looked like he jerked just as he fired, because that one just completely missed. Now, has he been spotted? And he seems to have still gotten away with it. Stug nails the T29. But that friendly T29, big artillery target. There we go, Hummel nails it. And they keep killing one, but then the enemy team kill one, and they're constantly 2 kills down all the way through this game. And that T49 is not going to survive this. Yeah, there we go. There's that Dickomax that we just couldn't kill earlier. But we got him this time. Now, have we been spotted? Oh, yeah, we've been spotted, alright. Oh, hell yeah, we've been spotted. Oh, but we're not the only ones, and yeah, there goes our cover. Let's move and get behind some more cover, and hopefully that Stug can nail the gorilla. But the Stug is, he's shooting at Arty, and he's... Well, there you go. Sitting in an open field, taking pot shots while there are 3 artillery still in play. I mean, the Stug was out of options. I'm not saying the guy was an idiot for it, but He was unlucky not to kill the Gorilla, but the chances are he would have died. The Hummel would have gotten him. Or the other artillery would have gotten him. And whoa, yep, we know where you are. Time to move. And that's why I'm saying that this isn't really an artillery replay. There goes the Panzer IV. Run, little Frenchie. Run for your life. They know where you are. So, Dave versus 3 artillery. How are we going to play this one? Oh, there's one of them. It's that Gorilla. Now the Gorilla himself isn't a massive... I mean, the Gorilla can kill us, but it's not the direct fire from the Gorilla that we need to worry about. It's him spotting us, so he hits us. No problem, didn't kill us. Oh, and he should have waited. He should have taken his time, because he knows he can beat that guy's reload. Oh, it's an SU-5. It's not the Gorilla. My mistake. And he's gotten himself into cover. He fires. He misses. Come on. Load. Fire. Bam. Oh, it was the Gorilla. There's an SU-5 elsewhere who's actually... my mistake. Really, Jingles. Pay attention to what's going on the map. That was kind of dodgy. I mean, he pocked himself in behind that barn so that the enemy artillery wouldn't be able to direct fire it while he dealt with the Gorilla. The Gorilla fired, missed, and he had all the time in the world to make sure that shot aimed and hit, and he just, well, you know, adrenaline's pumping. You're the last tank left alive on your team. It's easy to be, what's the right word? I mean, it was a mistake, but it's easy to forgive. So, 2 of them, 1 of us. Now that Hummel's a quick machine. And the smart thing to do here, in my opinion, and it is exactly what Davian does. He hides in the bushes up here, and he waits to see who's going to come and cap. I mean, there's 6 minutes of the game left. There's plenty of time. You see see how slowly this thing's moving? I mean, he is moving uphill, but I'm used to seeing this machine in particular move a lot faster than this. Oh, there's the Hummel. Jesus, point blank range. So it turned out to be exactly the right thing to do. And he seemed to wait a bit. I would have been moving immediately after shooting that Hummel there. Because that SU he's proven that he can hit a target. And if you spot the Hummel, and then the Hummel spots you too, so... But he got away with it. Where is that SU-8? So he relocates, parks himself in some more bushes, and he waits to observe the cap. And what's probably happened is that the Hummel's come around the south while the SU-8's coming around from the north. Come on, where are you? Ah, there we go. We know where he is now. He's in the capture circle. So we've taken 1 hit. We're down to 201 health, but there he is. And it doesn't look like he's seen us. Come on. Oh, he fires too early. Right, he's seen us now. Oh, has he? Where's he going? No, he's still just driving around in circles in the capture circle. You'd think he would have been running for cover, but no. And we're loaded, but he's loaded too. And... oh, damn. 5 kills. Real clutch game there. And undeniably, he didn't make all the right decisions. And he did have a bit of luck. But it's hard to find fault. At the end of the game, they're all dead and he isn't. And it's easy to rush your shots when you're under this kind of pressure. And despite it all, he walked away with 5 kills and he saved the game. So it wasn't a fantastic match, but it was good all the same, and and entertaining to watch, and that's one of the things that I look for most. But the fact that he did make a couple of suspect decisions prevented this one from being a fantastic game. I mean, it was a good game, possibly even a great game, but it wasn't fantastic. But entertaining nevertheless. I mean, really, really came down to the wire at the end there. A real nail-biting finish. So, FJTKL, or Dave, well played, and thanks for sending the replay in. Well, we're going to bring this round up to a close with Verveer in his Schutzwagen Panther German Tier 6 artillery. And I had a lot of fun driving the GW Panther. It doesn't quite have a turret like the SU-26 has a turret, or the Batchout 155 has a turret, but it sort of almost does. And that sort of turret that the gun's mounted in has a very, very, very wide angle of traverse. If you have a look down at the tank damage panel in the bottom left of the screen, you can see the massive arc of fire on that gun. And that means that if you happen to pan around to track targets, you don't really have to turn the hull very much, which means that this thing it never really has to go through that full aiming cycle again, which other artillery does when they move the hull. And this game, and it's fun watching artillery go all tank destroyer mode on you and so on and so on, and those are undeniably fun and amusing games to watch, but this is a pure artillery game. And what you got here is some fantastic teamwork and an absolute rock star of a T50 Driver, who you can see rushing up the middle of the map there, determined to get to enemy artillery. And Verveer is watching for counter battery fire here. He's keeping an eye on the map. There, did you see the tracer? Artillery tracer, right there. And there's the enemy M41, and there's another one. So he goes for the guy who hasn't been spotted, hoping, and there you go, kills their GW Panther. But they've counter battery fired at our GW Panther. And that was a smart move, going for the guy that hadn't actually been seen, but he knew was there, in the hope that the rest of his artillery would take care of the guy that had been spotted. But there we go. SU-14 nails the Gorilla. Boom, there you go. He kills the M41 just by watching his tracer. And this utter rock star in the T50. What a good scout this guy was. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Nail that M12 for him. Don't make him do it all himself. And aim, and fire, and boom, headshot. So, fantastic bit of teamwork there between scouts and artillery. Unfortunately, the T50 pays for it with his life. He's about to get E75'd. Yeah, there he goes. So, all their artillery are gone. That was some fantastic work there. So, well played to Iggy 300 at the T50 Driver. Fantastic little scout job. In a Tier 4 light tank. And this is a Tier 10 game. Bear in mind this is an old replay and this is patch 7.4, so T50s could get into Tier 10 games. Now, have a closer look at the map. The team does have a distinct advantage. They're winning 5-3, and the enemy team have lost all of their artillery. However, have a look at the town in the southern end of the map. And things are going to start getting real desperate. And there's his fourth kill. Low health T29. So this E75 looks like you could... if only he was loaded here. Look at that. Low health pattern and an IS-6 pop right next to each other. Oh, let me splash damage you two. But no. Gun's not loaded. Fires. And he would have killed that pattern, but the E75 fired first. But he's got problems now. This M103, and he's not alone. There's a 4502P, and there's more than just those two coming around the south. And this turns into a hell of a fight. He's about to load and hit that 4502.
Enemy is hit.
And he's burning. And he doesn't quite finish him off. But they've just lost their AMX-13. M103 nailed him. Now there is an IS-7 in the town. Oh crap, here comes an E100. M103, 4502P and an E100, and I'm pretty sure that's not all that's there. Oh crap, we've just lost their IS-6. Oh no, that was us killing their IS-6, my mistake. Duh. Now watch this hit on the M103. Oh, and that of course was the IS-7 firing as well, so we didn't do that much damage, but it was a good solid hit. So now, the IS-7, this is what we're trying to do here. He's trying to even the score up for this IS-7, so the IS-7 can one-shot these guys, which he does by nailing the 4502P. And now, we need to get this E75 down to low health. Oh, I just missed. Just missed. Didn't even splash him. Because the E75 is trying to get around the IS-7. And here comes the M103. He's not dead yet. He's pumping shots into the IS-7's flank. And that E100's moving up. The IS-7 is the only thing keeping us alive. Right? We've got to help him. We've got to reduce the number of guns that are shooting back at him and trying to get a shot on one of these guys. There. Okay, the IS-7's down, but we kill the E75, and then the 3090 comes around, and he finishes off the M103, and there's like multiple tanks dead in seconds. SU-14's yelling for help. Crap, here comes a Tiger 2. T30 nails him, so T30 and a 3090, all that stands between us and an E100. Here he comes. He's going to stop and kill the SU-14. So hit him, track him, throw his aim off. It's not enough to save the SU-14. The 3090 is... he's not going after the E100. He's probably reloading. So, you know, fair play. T30 takes a shot, doesn't do any damage, blows his tracks off, but the E100's looking at the T30 right now, and come on, reload. Fired, hit him again. Don't know how much damage we did. We've got a heavy coming down to try to defend the cap. We're capping. We've got 2, soon 3 tanks in the cap circle. It's all over. That E100 is the only one left, and it's just a question of who can do some damage to him before he dies. And can he please not kill us? And we hit him again. And that's something like 3 hits on this E100, all for around 400 damage. And T30 hits him. We cap. Game over. Bam! IS-3 kills him just as the enemy base is captured. And that E100 driver must have been cursing. And there you go, 1200 XP, 34,000 credits. It's not a bad amount of credits for artillery. And hell's bells. Loads of kills, loads of enemy tanks damaged. No special awards, but he certainly deserved something like that. A hell of a game, and a nice, straightforward, nothing special, well-played artillery game. There's none of this running around pretending you're a tank destroyer stuff, which is amusing. And my primary aim with these roundups is to show you entertaining games. And watching artillery race around in tank destroyer mode is entertaining. But it's nice to be able to show you a proper artillery game that is just as nail-biting and entertaining as well. So that was Vivier bringing tonight's roundup of artillery games to a close in his Geschutzwagen Panther. Tier 6 German artillery, playing a great, proper artillery game in a Tier 10 game on Fjords. As always, take care on the battlefield, and I'll catch you guys next time.